when it comes to being in the family law system and going through a divorce with a high conflict or narcissistic personality, it's really important to understand some key facets and some of the tools and tricks that they use to weaponize the legal system against you, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So I'm going to go through some of the different systems so you can anticipate and be able to head off some of the issues that you're likely to face in this really difficult time. You really don't need this. So if we talk about the choice of how you're going to get through the system, there's arbitration, there's mediation, and there's traditional family law. And in those regards, what you will find with the narcissist personality, if you go into arbitration, which is binding and can negatively impact your future for a long, long time, the skill that the narcissist often has is the ability to be charming. And of course, we know it's a false charm, but that's how they've used their skills of manipulation to recruit flying monkeys. And in all likelihood, they've been able to recruit some people you would never have expected onto their side or their way of thinking, that somehow they're the victim in this. And these could be friends or even family members. And that is such a difficult situation to face, but it really is part and parcel of this personality type, and the fact that you're having an opportunity to start a life without them needs to be the strength you hold on to get from your old life to your new life. And it's important to keep that tucked away as something that comforts you through this. So related to arbitration, it's really inadvisable to go down that pathway with someone who can manipulate and charm to the degree that a narcissist can. And depending on which style of narcissist, they have different skill levels, but generally speaking, they're all pretty effective in this regard. So if you take arbitration off the table, let's talk about mediation. And a narcissist will often use mediation as a tool of weaponization by these couple factors. And one of them is keeping you in mediation for a long time, letting you believe that you're making headway and going to come to an agreement at the end. And especially if they themselves are self-representing and you have a lawyer, this is a way they can use mediation to drag you through hours and hours and hours, and you rack up a huge legal bill. And at the end, they likely have the intention to walk away from the mediation if they didn't get exactly what they want. And that is really financial abuse, and they're using the legal system to accomplish that. They also do this in regards to four-way meetings. Even if they have an attorney and you have an attorney, a four-way meeting where you both sit with both your attorneys and you hash out the issues, it can go on for hours and hours and hours, and that racks up your legal bill. But they know that mediation or the four-way meeting cannot be used in court documents. So even if they have agreed to A, B, C, and D, and it looks like you're making headway, and all of a sudden they do not follow through with what they've agreed upon in the four-way meeting, you've just completely wasted all that time, energy, and money. what you've also done is give them all your strategies and all the things that you want, and that allows them to move forward, to strategize, to create and really poke you in the emotional areas that you find most important. And in a four-way meeting, all that kind of comes to the surface. So it's important to understand the only way a four-way meeting can be effective with someone who has poor intention, or to use that against you as a also financial abuse tool, is to agree that the negotiations of the four-way meeting are immediately turned into a family law court order. And that can happen if you both agree, and that is done before it can be written out, pen and paper, and it can be signed at the end of your four-way meeting. So there's so much abuse that can go on in a four-way meeting if the other person comes in with ill intention and is using it in that regard. So it's definitely something to keep in mind at each step of your divorce as you try to navigate the system, as you try to navigate their intentions, as you try to figure out what's true with them and what's not true with them. That in most cases, almost everything they're doing is a way to hurt you. They want to punish you, especially if you are the one that has chosen to leave the marriage. This is, in almost all cases, a way they will plan to punish you. So knowing these things ahead of time can help you to make better choices. Instead of sitting through an all-day four-way meeting that will not result in a court order, you're likely better to use that time, energy, and that money to go forward with motions, or to put it towards a trial where something actually can result that can be beneficial to your future. So I hope you've appreciated these tips and tricks and this education, and I would appreciate if you would go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm really working on a lot of high depth content related to legal education, related to weaponization, and I would really appreciate your hitting that subscribe button.